So I'm speaking to you about Revelation 4 now. Revelation 4 is a kind of big jump, if you like, from Revelation 3, where John is speaking to through the Spirit, speaking to the 7 churches that are standing at the moment, at that time. And he moves the whole focus of his writing to a different area completely. It's the throne room with God. There's things accompanying God in the throne room. There's the whole spectrum of majesty, power, thunder, electricity, things going off all the time around him. But before that, he's got to step into the door. And this door is led to by an angel, and the angel kind of declares what's going to happen. So the angel declares, "Come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this." And my mind was straight away with the idea of a door drawn to Holman Hunt's drawing or painting. It's in London. I think another one in Cambridge. It's called The Light of the World. And in this picture, it's resurrected Jesus. He's still wearing the crown of thorns, and in his hand he's got the light of the world, a lamp. The door has no handle from the side that the person is looking at it, so it appears that the only way that you can, there's no handle from Jesus' side, so there's no way he can open the door. You have to open the door to admit Jesus, and that's kind of completely different to the description that John's giving now, where the angel's there and a door opens. But I'm sure Holman Hunt is thinking of this picture of the resurrected Jesus standing and welcoming us. But that isn't quite where we are yet. And the way that Jesus is introduced comes up in the next chapter. At the moment, our focus is on God, the One. And there's all kind of fictional spin-offs of how this is being portrayed. If you are a fan of The Wizard of Oz, the Emerald City is quite a good focal point of some of the ideas in Revelation, and particularly there's the song Over the Rainbow, which the rainbow is the backing to the throne of God. The emerald and the jasper and chameleon describes how God, the One, is sitting on the throne. What's new in this vision, which isn't in Isaiah, slightly not in Ezekiel either, there are 24 thrones surrounding the throne of God. And this is taken to be, it's not specifically said in Revelation itself, but it's taken to be that it represents the Old Testament, the 12 tribes of Israel, and now in the New Testament, the 12 apostles. And we are invited, if you like, to consider ourselves an apostle or a disciple and a follower of Jesus. So there is an idea that we can approach the throne of God, and it's an exciting place to be. Flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder. And also represented are the 7 churches, which we keep talking about, but they're now 7 torches of fire. And it describes it as the 7 spirits of God. But in front of that, which presumably is the face that John is looking, is a crystal sea. Ezekiel takes a different slant with this crystal sea, or with the amount of crystal or whatever it is, and I think the way he describes it, it's above the throne. So it's kind of a double position, or the throne's floating somewhere, but it's kind of there. We need to recognise this throne. We need to be aware that it's something fantastic. You could say, I suppose, John being a fisherman, he may have being transported in his mind slightly back to the Sea of Galilee and seeing Jesus in a boat or some kind of more maritime setting, and that's why he's called it a sea. But Ezekiel's was more atmospheric, shall we say. Okay, we're moving on to around the throne, and this is definitely in Ezekiel. There are 4 living creatures. They're full of eyes, and when you think about full of eyes, in our times of modern technology, we're always aware of CCTV, and we're aware of being watched and looked at, and there's reality programs, Hunted and things, and talk about AMPR, and everything is visual now. And John is picked up on, emphasising this idea that we are seen, these creatures can see everything, and God's aware of what we're doing. And there's this mystery and magic or some sort of spiritual thing where they have 6 wings, they're full of eyes, and they can go day and night. And what they're saying is this: Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. So that's the thrust of this. He was, he is, and he is to come. So we're looking into the future, what will be, and in the end we talk about a new Jerusalem. Jesus is having the church as his bride, and as that kind of union that is to come. When the living creatures give glory and honour and thanks to him who is seated on the throne, the 24 elders fall down before him and they worship him who lives forever and ever. Now I like this next bit, and Charles Wesley's picked this up, and it's in Love Divine or Love's Excelling. They cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Worthy are you, O Lord our God, to receive glory and honour and power, for you created all things. By your will they were existed and were created. Charles Wesley, in the last verse of Love Divine or Love's Excelling, says it like this: Finish then thy new creation, pure and spotless let us be. Let us see thy great salvation perfectly restored in thee, changed from glory into glory, till in heaven we take our place, till we cast our crowns before thee, lost in wonder, love and praise. So Charles Wesley's took the emphasis from the 24 elders and given it to us, the current people that are Christians at the time in the 18th century, but now in the new millennium, here we are, and we're invited to be a part of the throne room of God, the actual epicentre, the power, the way in. This is what we're seeing in this description. It's a fantastic sort of panorama of sound, of light, of rainbows. It's just an amazing, amazing picture that we're given. So we're moving on to chapter 5 in Revelation. It's a complete change again from the throne room. We're going sort of closer in. We're looking at the right hand of him who was seated on the throne, and he's holding a scroll. And a strong angel, possibly the one from the beginning, not sure, proclaims with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the scroll and break its seals? No answer. And the Bible goes on. And no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth was able to look upon the scroll or to look into it. And this to me is the supremacy of Jesus. We're going to come how he's introduced, but let's be sure that we understand that no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth could open the scrolls. And that was upsetting to John, apparently, in the spirit. And he started crying and he wept loudly. And one of the elders took pity on him. And he said this, Weep no more. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has conquered, so that he can open the scroll and its 7 seals. So this passage moves on from John just sort of vaguely seeing the throne of God, and now he's actively involved. His sentiments are coming out, his feelings of upset, and the elder approaching him and giving him comfort. And now we come to the sort of essence, if you like, of the whole part of these two chapters, or even the whole book of Revelation, if you like. And between the throne and the four living creatures and among the elders, I saw a lamb standing, as though it had been slain, with 7 horns and with 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, sent out into all the earth. And he went and took the scroll from the right hand of him who was seated on the throne. And when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. So this is where Jesus is introduced, if you like, as a lamb. But it is, when you see, we'll be showing a picture of the lion and the lamb together, but when you see it, it's a picture of a rather pretty lamb. But this one is really kind of beaten up. It's the most strange creature you've ever seen. It's got 7 horns, 7 eyes. That can't be comfortable. All our thinking is things are in symmetry. You would have, 3 eyes down one side and 3 eyes down the other. And this idea of 7 on a body is a strange one to us. But to John, or to that kind of time of thinking, 7 is the complete number. So you would have had to have 7. We've talk, don't we, strangely sometimes about, oh yeah, I'm going to go to heaven and I'm going to play my harp. And this is the first time I've ever seen that. And you sort of think, oh yeah, I might be a bit bored playing the harp. Wonder what it will really be like in heaven. And we are giving clues, aren't we, as to what it will be like. We're going to cast our crowns before the throne, and before the throne, and we're going to say, worthy, worthy, you have created everything. And you're full of power, and all we want to do is praise you. And the reason for this is because you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals. For you were slain, and by your blood you ransomed people for God from every tribe and language and people and nation. So we've said that Jesus is supreme. We've said that he has the answers. He can open the scrolls. And the way that that's done is because he sacrificed himself on the cross. The idea of the lamb as a sacrifice is very Old Testamental, if you like. It comes up in the Old Testament quite a few times. People have taken lambs that were caught in bushes and sacrificed them. And the temple in Jerusalem was apparently designed so that the flow of blood from the sacrifices that they made to God were carefully removed from the building. So there is this blood that was slain, so blood from the slain animals, or blood from Jesus. And we've been told that Jesus has been knocked about. He looks like he's been slain. So we must never forget that there was that big sacrifice. And the reason for this is the people were ransomed. And it's not just the holy people, the people of Israel. It's made this point very clear. We as preachers have to do now inclusion and diversity training. And this is seriously inclusive. So we're talking about from every tribe and language and people and nation. And not only you haven't just left them as people, you've made them into a kingdom and priests to our God. So we've all been upgraded slightly now. So we are God's priests in a new kingdom. And of course, the sort of closing moments of this chapter is everyone around, all the angels, everyone around comes and joins in, and they say, "Worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and wealth, wisdom and might, and honour and glory and blessing." And the response from every creature in heaven and on earth and under the earth and in the sea and all that is in them. So they're giving it their all, everything that is in them, saying, "To him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be blessing and honour and glory and might forever and ever." And the culmination is they all fall down and worship. So this apocalyptic writing, we've now sort of been in the throne room, we know what it's about, we've been told there's the 7 seals, which will come up in the next chapter of what happens when they open the seals, or the Lamb opens the seals, so that's all that's prepared. But this is our kind of moment of actual, it's the culmination of Christianity, it's the culmination of any kind of build-up that you would like to hear. It would be just an amazing, amazing thing to feel that we're part of this. This is, if you like, where we're going. This is our end of story, if you like. And everyone, a lot of fiction has come from this. I mean, you can look at Avatar, where there's talks about a tree of life, and as that's destroyed, so the people are having to rebuild it or rethink it, and there's a new version of Avatar come out. We're all on ITV now seeing Harry Potter coming back. Harry Potter is quite apocalyptic. We haven't met the bad guys, but Voldemort would be Satan, Darth Vader in Star Wars, Sauron in Lord of the Rings. They're not in the throne room, you know, they are excluded. This is where we're going next, is to do the battle. So we've been in the throne room, we've seen why there's the supremacy of Jesus, and now in the next coming chapters of Revelation, more will be revealed. So that's kind of, you know, the end, if you like, of being in the throne room and what happens next. Other things appear and things change. But I was at work the other day, and it's a very old couple that I'm working with, and he said to me, "Oh, I'm getting ready for the big sleep." And I'm thinking, well, I don't really know if I want to go to sleep for ages and ages and never wake up. So there's a kind of cheerfulness, isn't there, with Christianity, where we think, yes, we're going to be with Jesus, we're going to be able to cast our crowns. So we're looking at being cheerful in our final moments, if you like, and this is beautifully described by Isaac Watts. And he writes this: "Come, let us join our cheerful songs with angels round the throne. 10,000 are their tongues, but all their joys are one. Worthy the Lamb that died," they cry, "to be exalted thus. Worthy the Lamb," our lips reply, "for he was slain for us." Jesus is worthy to receive honour and power divine, and blessings more than we can give be, Lord, forever thine. The whole creation join in one to bless the sacred name of him that sits upon the throne, and to adore the Lamb. Amen.